I make no apologies for liking procedural games. Things like Not Tonight and Papers, Please and Not for Broadcast. It's entirely many a true nerd's fault. I watch too much John and I love the games he plays. So with that in mind, we're playing a similar sort of game today. And I don't know if you'll enjoy it. I enjoy it because of my background and because of the games I like. And I hope you do as well. So, ladies, gentlemen, and those in betwixt, my name is Elementary, and this is the Westport Independent.
Oh well, what's your favourite milk? Is skimmed or lactose free? No matter what you pick, you will always disagree. There's something wrong with everything that you do. There is no correct answer to disturbing you.
So this is the Westport Independent. It's very, very similar to Papers, Please and that sort of game where you go around making choices. I'm just going to show you. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, groups, businesses, place, events and incidents are either the products of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events or groups or places is purely coincidental. You'd be surprised. So, as you can tell, a government has taken over and demands your loyalty. Now, you can obviously play along and be loyal, or you can help the uprising. So, mail. Let's have a look at this. Oh yes, that's just the poster. Dear editor, Phil has been putting up more loyalist propaganda in the office. You know I can't stand this shit, so I decided to pull it down. It should be on your desk together with this note. Frank. So, Frank's not a big fan of the loyalist government. What we've got is, on the left here, we have the articles. So we've got a tutorial article for censoring. Hang on, let's pull that up. One of the game's main mechanics is censoring articles. You do this by clicking on paragraphs that seem inappropriate. When censored, that content won't be shown to the public and will affect neither their opinion nor the government's suspicion of you. You can also change the headline by clicking on it. Different headlines can change the portrayal of an article. For example, welcome to the extraordinary and amazing soon-to-be Game of the Year winner, the Westport Independent. But you can cross that out and then it won't be censored. So we'll put that back in there, we don't need that. Employees. There we go. When you've censored an article, it needs to be transcribed. To do this, put it in one of the named folders to the bottom right. The employees will have different opinions and they'll be discussing how you run your paper. They also have their lives to protect, so don't blame them if they don't wish to follow you into death. So on the right hand side, you've got your employee files. So Julie is known for having doubtful opinions of the government, went to community college, worked abroad as a freelance writer. So you've got relative comfort, she's slightly rebellious, and she's a little bit suspicious to the government. So maybe give her stuff that doesn't involve government as much as you can. Phil is a loyalist supporter, lives in the Western Districts, lives with his disabled brother and went to private college. So he is fairly loyalist, he has no suspicion, and he's living fairly comfortably. Frank lives alone, no college education, lives by the Eastern factories, opposed all loyalists before they came to power. He's got quite a bit of suspicion already, and he's a rebel. And Anne is a parent who lives by the Eastern factories, went to community college, slightly loyalist, and they don't think anything of him. So up here you see we've got the people's opinion. So the people's opinion at the minute is fairly loyalist. There is the government's suspicion of you. So if you print too many things that are against government, your suspicion will rise. But you also need to sell the paper, so you see in the different areas how it all applies to people. And you do that by filling your paper. This is the articles that you have to play with. So this one is loyalist government pursues harsher actions against suspected rebels, or loyalist government attacks the privacy of citizens. So obviously it depends which way you want to lean. So if you want to lean loyalist, I suggest you go for that one. If you want to lean rebel, probably that one. And here you choose what to censor. So whether you want to hide the government thing, maybe you'd want to scratch that out. If you want to support the rebels, maybe you'd cross that one out. There we go. See? So, at the minute, let's just play it safe and stick fairly loyalist, I think. Don't want to upset them too early. So, you'd probably want to cross that one out because they don't want you doing that. We don't want people knowing that they're just going to arrest people for having different opinions. So, we'll drag that and then you put it in a folder. Who is fairly strongly loyalist? Phil is, isn't he? Yeah, Phil can have that one. Then this other one, the Public Culture Bill has passed. A new bill has been passed, forces independent media outlets to shut down. That's one angle. I mean, at present, the Westport Independent is an independent media outlet. So at the minute, just stick with that, I think. The Public Culture Bill that the government presented last year has today been passed. The purpose of the new bill is to stop the creation and distribution of incorrect and improper content. It will force independent media outlets to either shut down or join the new government-funded union called the Loyalist News and Media Association. So, they probably want you to censor that one, but I don't think there's anything wrong particularly with saying that. So let's give it to Anne, who's already fairly comfortable. That will do. And then when your week's done, you send it to print. You haven't given every article. Okay, so I need to thingy the tutorials as well and do it. Okay. It's been a fair while since I played this. When you censor the article, let's cross that bit out and let's give that to Frank. And the censoring. They don't need to know that bit. But let's stick that in there and Julie can write that. There we go. You know, I've never been a big fan of the loyalist government, but the Public Culture Bill is even worse than I expected. Don't blame it on the government, blame it on yellow journalism and the blatant lies that some newspapers post these days. There's nothing good about a misinformed public. Well, yeah, sure, but do you realise how much power the government will have over the media with this? I agree with Frank on this one. I can't see how the Public Culture Bill would be beneficial for anyone but the government. Well, media outlets like ourselves have a scary amount of power over people's opinions, but on the other hand, I don't think that giving that power to the government is a great idea either. No, I'm inclined to agree. And now week 1. 11 weeks until the Culture Bill comes into force. So how do we do? I didn't do that well in the north, but we did quite well everywhere else. Well, I say quite well. It's the first day. How much do you expect to be done, you know? This bar illustrates your sales last week. Yes, it does. The container represents the people of that district. The light bar illustrates how many of those papers were sold. The more you sell, the more popular you get. See? So the bars sort of represent the popularity. The more popular you get, the more papers you can distribute. People's opinion will affect your sales as well. Likewise, a well-selling paper also affects the people's opinion. So it's just saying like the media can control the narrative, I suppose. Yeah, the loyalists like it. And apparently our zero suspicion got even lower, and papers' total popularity increased a little bit because we sold some papers. Hooray! Today's mail. Let's have a look. There is nothing more heartbreaking than a misguided public. In a world controlled by the media, the loyalist government will stop at nothing to protect the people from frivolous lies and irresponsible gossip. The Public Culture Bill is for your protection. Yeah, I'm now going to look up when this came out. Yeah, this came out in 2016, which was at the height of sort of Trump's pre-election fake news stuff. So I think they were trying to tell a message here. Oh, lots of stories. Now we've got to choose 4. So let's have a look at what we've got. New law to combat illegal workers. Today, Parliament passed a new law to combat the rise of illegal immigration. It will require all workers to supply a Westport social security number before being hired. Employers will also be charged for employing refugees or citizens lacking citizenship. So that can also be government revokes employee of people born outside of Westport. Yeah, no, that is very much Westport first, isn't it? Rebels assault trade convoy en route to Westport, or government blames robbery on rebellion. You know what, that's not a bad headline either way. Last night, a number of delivery trucks entering Westport were attacked. According to testimony, a group of masked individuals intercepted the trucks at a customs checkpoint. Threatening the drivers, the men emptied the trucks, leaving with their contents. Westport City Police have officially labelled the event as rebel activity. You know what? I don't think anything needs to be censored on that. And I feel like that can't be a bad thing for anybody to write. But I'm going to put it to Julie. Right, now what we got? New LNMA chairman discusses his plans for a responsible press. In the press event today, LNMA chairman Andrew Lacon addressed his recent appointment. Proud of his nomination, Lacon discussed his plans for a more responsible press. This came up while addressing the accusations of corruption during his past career as minister. Slander like that is exactly why the LMNA is needed. Minister against culture tries to whitewash his past. Yeah, that might be a bit controversial, mightn't it? Let's see what else we've got. New movie featuring renowned movie star upsets the association of respectability and social sensibility. The new film Lovers of the Southern Skies, featuring renowned actor Harold Finn, premiered last night. The movie is about a pilot who comes under the care of a local girl after crashing his plane outside her town. While mostly praised, the ARSS panned at the film for its mature content. Biggest criticism is of a bathing scene which says nudity. Nudity? In my movies? Vile erotica. Yeah, I don't know. What else we got? New plans to add fluoride to drinking water. Government adds untested substances to drinking water. The Department of Sanitation announced today its intention to add fluoride to the water supply. This is due to research showcasing the substance's ability to decrease chances of cavities. As research on fluoridation is still ongoing, this would make Westport one of the few places in the world to adopt it. Well, that makes us look forward thinking. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Who's the loyalist? Phil. Man attacks police officer. One teenager was caught writing rebel messages on walls close to Liberty Square. Police officer witnessed the act and intervened by tackling the teenager. The arrest was interrupted by a passerby who pulled the officer away from the teenager. Both the man and the teenager were arrested when the officer's partner arrived on the scene. Man defends teenager, police officer presses charge. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either way. So, you know what? Anne is fairly in the middle. Please, sir, I cannot bring myself to write this article. Okay, is that because she's a bit loyal? Okay. Well, will Frank write it? No. Fine. Cartoonist arrested for slander. Cartoonist arrested for slander. Cartoon artist for the Great Western Inquirer was today arrested and is currently awaiting trial. Details of the charges are unclear, but include slander and producing treasonous material. This comes after the recent commentary of the government body, which cast several public figures as different body parts. Government arrest man for cartoon. Yeah, I don't feel there's anything wrong with that. There we go. Let's cross that out. Will you write that? Yes, you will. Okay, good. I think that's alright. You guys seen the new Harold Finn movie? Not yet, no. I've seen it. Me and a couple of friends saw it a few weeks ago. I was surprised that they dared to keep such suggestive themes with the public culture bill soon coming into force and all. Don't be such a stiff. Personally, I didn't find anything wrong with the movie's handling of sexual themes. But I don't think such things are proper material to have in a movie, that's all. What a prude. It's like it's 1949 or something. Yeah, see, you get a little bit more popular everywhere. That's good. It's good. Was leaned a little bit. Oh, okay. Got more popular, swung a bit rebel, and the loyalists are suspicious of us. I don't really know what I did wrong then. Wrong. Depends how you look at it, doesn't it? Ooh, actual letter. 2. Dear editor, as you're probably aware by now, when we were finally able to stop the notorious Northern Herald from spreading their lies to the public, we were also forced to shut down their affiliated marketing agency. As it so happens, your paper, the Westport Independent, used the same agency. It means from now on you have to take care of advertising yourself. Additionally, because of your affiliation with the perpetrators, we'll be keeping a close eye on you for the time being. Oh, great. Dear editor, one of your employees, Frank, has recently written quite a few questionable articles for your paper. We expect you to show your people proper discipline in order to prevent events such as these, especially since the regarded employer has a history of disloyal behaviour. You'll do well to remember that reluctance in this matter will reflect poorly not only on your employee, but on you as well. Well, if we're being watched, Shall we just go to town on it? This one sparked my interest. The Northern Herald shuts its doors. Today, after almost a century of publication, the popular magazine The Northern Herald released its final issue. Its sudden dismantlement was due to violations of the guidelines set up in preparation for the Public Culture Bill. The paper's marketer, which was responsible for advertising several of Westport's other independent newspapers, was also shut down. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. So Frank can have it. Westport contractors accused of botched construction work or dangerous housing and botched construction crowds. Westport contractors' track record. I don't really know which one's the worst one there. Construction company Westport Contractors lately faced accusations of botched construction work through Westport. These charges mostly involve private residences, but additionally some public structures have been affected. When approached for an interview, the company declined. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Phil's fairly loyal. Police car set on fire in the Southern Docks. Good. Police car set on fire in the Southern Docks, or pyromaniac strikes police car in the Southern Docks. They probably want me to go for pyro, don't they? But no, I'm just going to tell the facts. A police car was set on fire in the old residential area of the Southern Docks. The fire was quickly put out by the officers who had quickly left the car. The officers received no injuries. The police have made no arrests but suspect a local rebel group to be involved. Again, I don't see anything wrong with any of that. Julie is reasonably rebellious. Let's leave the trade routes alone, I think. Movie star writes biography, calls it My Lonely Place in Greatness. Renowned movie star Howard Finn today announced his upcoming biography. Titled My Lonely Place in Greatness, it will chronicle Finn's journey towards stardom. I've always wanted to share my life story with my fans as a star. To see that moment finally arrive means a lot to me. The book is scheduled for release next fall. Star leaves movies to pursue writing. I could just tell a barefaced lie, couldn't I? No, let's keep it factual, but let's see what else we've got. Fire in apartment complex. A fire erupted last night in an apartment complex between the Southern Docks and the Western Districts. During the 2 hours it took to extinguish a blaze, 42 apartments were damaged to the point of being uninhabitable. Survivors have had to move in with family and friends as the city is yet to provide aid. People left homeless after fire, yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, see, now you have to... Yeah, funky. I'd forgotten this, it's been a while. Police car set on fire in the Southern Docks. Yeah, that's quite important. Then homeless, and then the Northern Herald on the back. Marketing. Oh yes, of course. You advertise somewhat. Not very popular there, so let's whack a bit in there. There we go. See, you spread it out evenly. Well, however you want to, really, to sell things. So, my popularity isn't great in the Northern, so let's put the most advertising in the Northern. Yeah, seems perfectly fine to me. Yeah. So I finally saved up enough money for a TV. Nice of you to leave your cave and join the rest of civilization. So, don't be an ass. We need any help carrying it home? Nah, a friend of mine will help me with it. It needs to be carried all the way from the Southern Docks after all. Wait, you're going to carry a brand new TV through there? Are you mad? We'll cover it with a blanket. I've been in the Southern Docks hundreds of times, so I'll manage. Probably. Oh wow, we sold really well. Their suburbs didn't particularly like us that well, but that's fine. It's fine. We're improving our spread. Oh wow. The people like the rebels, but the government is noticing. Okay, no mail. Let's see what we've got today. Child murder midwife arrested. Tragedy struck today as a local midwife at the Bitty Square Hospital was arrested for attempted murder. midwife, Mrs. Lana Reynolds, was caught performing an abortion on one of the victims. Oh. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's going in. That can be written by the... Yeah, there we go. Movie star gets wax figure in exhibition honouring local celebrities. Harold Finn's getting himself a wax figure. Let's make him look good. Human interest. Relatively loyal. You can have that. Let's follow up the fire story, yes. Yeah, I don't see any issue with that whatsoever. Yeah, Phil doesn't mind it either, so it must be alright. Burning paper, boys? This morning, the paper delivery for the Eastern Journal was interrupted by a group of masked figures. Paperboy tried to intervene, but was overpowered and assaulted. The truck was left vandalised and sprayed with words including class traitors and loyalist dogs. Journal recently had a policy change by deciding to support the new LNMA. Okay, so, from what I can think, that's a bit too inflammatory. You know what? That's very factual. I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay, Phil won't write it. Fine. Government to renovate housing in the Southern Docks. Government increases property values to force out inhabitants. Oh, gentrification. Right. Yeah, yeah, Phil don't mind writing that either. I didn't see anything wrong with any of that. So for me, that wants to be on the front page because that's the biggest story. Then that one, yep. Then we've got a celebrity interest story. And then we've got a societal story in the back. Let's improve our sales in the north. We are already popular in the south, so... Of course, they've missed a trick here. If they'd put north, east, west, south, it would have spelt news. My son is having his first day at school today. Don't they grow up fast? I wouldn't know. I'm too busy taking care of my brother to even think about having a child. Well, Frank is close enough to a child. Hey, don't bully me just because I'm not an old raisin like yourselves. You're just a couple of years younger than the rest of us, you know. Physically, at least. Hey. Wow, the North really just not like us, does it? Although, am I sowing some dissension? Interesting. Oh yeah, the loyalists are onto me. Okay. But we've lost 6 popularity. Is that because I tried to sell it more in the north? Maybe. I didn't think anything I posted there was that particularly wrong. I got oh dear. One of your employees, Julius, for the last few weeks created content for your paper that can only be described as disloyal. A frivolous behaviour of jumping from nest to nest has made her lose sight of her roots. A naive mind must be taught the position she is in. If not, punishment will fall on both of your heads. Great, champion. What's the note? Alright, I think. Thanks. What have we got? What have we got? What have we got? Movie star invest in fashion line. Throws away more money on clothes. Okay. Let's... That was Julie, wasn't it? Let's give Julie that. There we go. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not writing anything that says it benefits of tobacco. Bar brawl in the Western Districts. Broken properties by these factories. Industrial areas brutally vandalised. Broken windows coverings and no effect at work at the crime scenes. 5 suspects believed to relate to local rebel groups have been arrested. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Preparations for the President's birthday are in full swing. The city is as lively as ever in preparation for the President's birthday next week. Parades are planned for the celebrations, as well as a festival in Liberty Square. Contra reports the costs for the event have so far exceeded 12 million. You know what? I'm going to cross that out and give that to Anne. Okay, this is interesting. Romiville Industries lays off 400 employees, or Romiville Industries takes out financial issues on its employees. I don't think like either of them are particularly good headlines. I don't know. Anyway, today, industrial giant Omnivore Industries laid off 400 of its employees. Personnel cuts as a result of a bad financial year. We are sad to see so many great people go. When asked if the company's management had taken any pay cuts in light of recent losses, no comments were received. Yeah, again, nothing wrong with that. It's highly suspicious. That's anti-capitalist, not anti-government. There we go. Industrial on the front page. Industrial on the second page. Just get some celebrity there. And that's a little bit of societal. 60, 15, 10, 15. Yeah. How would you plan spending your day during the president's birthday? I don't really know. I don't really plan joining the celebrations, so I guess I'll just stay at home. Me and my husband are taking my son to see the parade. I also plan on stopping by the parade. It's going to be held not too far from my apartment after all. Bunch of bootlickers. This week, that mostly matches where my marking went, which is weird. Maybe because I wrote some stuff that was like quite positive towards the loyalists. So yeah, I've lost my opinion. I've lost my loyalist opinion there. So how's that affecting me? +3 loyalists. Popularity stayed the same, and I've lost a little bit of suspicion. That's good. Got mail. Ooh. Dear editor, I've left to support the workers at Omnivore Industries, so I'll be gone this week. So Frank's gone on strike. That's fair. Recently come to attention that your paper seems to have problems understanding the guidelines provided by law. This government in advance of the introduction of the Public Culture Bill. We assure you these guidelines are absolute, and if your paper continues to neglect them, countermeasures will be taken. Excuse me, I was very good to you last week. So let's have a look at this. Strike started on Omnivore Industries. Strike hits Omnivore. Enough with treating us like dirt, say the workers. Yeah, I don't really see what the issue with that is. Workers at Omnivore Industry went on strike yesterday due to recent mass layoffs. Our fears of getting fired have allowed Omnivore to treat us like slaves. Why should we go hungry while our bosses eat like fat princes, said another. Yeah, I don't see any issue with that at all. And I feel like a loyalist would even write it. Oh. Unwrite it? No. I don't want to give it Julie. I'm trying to look after Julie. Further financial losses. The Omnivore Industries keeps on falling fast. Gone to report. Claiming the company has lost roughly 38 million Elle this year, making it Omnivore's third fiscal year in a row with negative earnings. Company claims this will not affect their latest venture of localising their business to Westport. Okay. Movie star divorces his wife. He's in the news every bloody day, is Harold Finn. Movie star ruins another marriage, divorcing his 8th wife. Yeah. Julie can write that. I'm looking after Julie. New teaching materials in all state schools. Current materials in schools are outdated and incorrect. All teaching materials will be replaced with updated material. New material will be examined by government officials to ensure it's proper and relevant. Oh, yeah, I can see why that would be bad. I don't see anything to censor. She doesn't want to write it, she knows. Okay. Government informant killed in fire. Brave patriot murdered in terrorist plot. Okay. Last night a fire broke out in the middle of the Eastern District and home of Rob Gray. The cause of the fire is still unknown, but neither Gray nor his family survived. Gray was an ex-rebel who provided the government with vital information in the months before his death. Police have yet to issue a statement, but speculate rebel retaliation. Again, I see nothing wrong with that. There we go. You're fine with that, and I jolly good. I only got 3 pages today. Let's whack that on the first page. Whack that on the second, and put... There we go, your celebrity interest there. I'm just going to give it an even split this week. There we go. So I went on this date yesterday. Oh, nice. How did it go? Well, I wasn't stood up at least. So, what happened? Turned out she didn't think it so much as a date. Apparently she had a boyfriend. She brought him along. That's harsh. It was just real awkward, but at least I found one library bill on my way home. So I've got that going for me, which is nice. Poor Phil. Hey, look at that. Almost an even split. Oh, okay. The people want the rebels. The people want the rebels. Look, I've lost 4, but my suspicion's gone down 16. Got mail. Okay. Most respected editor, I'm contacting you as the agent of renowned movie star Harold Finn. I'd just like to point out there was a small error in your article last week. As a matter of fact, the relationship Mr. Finn had with his 8th wife was not his longest. For his longest relationship to last only 2 years would be quite embarrassing. Rather, his longest relationship was with his 3rd wife, which lasted an entirety of 28 months. Thank you for your time. I'm not going to be printing that correction. Movie star caught drunk driving, claiming he was tired. Blames extremely reckless driving on a lack of sleep while reeking of alcohol. Yeah, I'm going for that one. I want him ruined. Yeah, no, I want him ruined. Absolutely ruined. Romerville outsources to underdeveloped countries. Oh, Romerville abandons Westport to unemployment, outsources to underdeveloped. Yeah, that. These lot of bastards. A recent report claims that individual giant Romerville Industries has outsourced almost all of their production overseas during the last few years. Meanwhile, several factories in Westport have been shut down, leaving hundreds of people unemployed. This has allowed unemployment in areas like the eastern factories to double over the last 3 years. I don't see anything wrong with that. Phil doesn't either, and he's a loyalist. It's food chain. Massive fast food chain Jolie's has finally made its way into Westport, with restaurants all over the world. The food giant's quickly risen to be the world's largest food chain. Located in the Western Districts, the chain's first restaurant in Westport will open its doors to the public next week. Food giant enters into Westport with a bang. Yeah. And can have that. Police shut down prostitution ring in the east. Police shut down brothel for not paying bribes. Oh. I'm going to go for that one, but I'm going to leave it as it is. Yeah, Frank's fine with that. Okay. That's the main big news. Let's keep him reasonably at the back. You know, I'm trying to ruin him, so... And... 40... 20 for the rest. So I heard they're finally going to make use of the old Wellster & Son shop across the street. They're opening a fast food place, right? It's supposed to be some sort of global sensation, so I guess it'd be interesting to try out. Yeah, it just raises your appetite, doesn't it? A bunch of corporate vultures swooping in to pick the bones clean. Classy. I went to a Jolie's once when I was abroad. All for food and rude personnel. I think the concept is brilliant. Its efficiency is the highest degree. Oh my god. Oh, I hate him. I wish they'd used those degrees to heat up their food instead. Oh wow, I did really well in the north, despite the fact I wasn't trying to. Switch to one rebel, a little bit more popular, and no change of loyalty. And I think we'll leave it there for now.
So, that was part 1 of the Westport Independent. Again, I don't know if it's going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's mine. And for now, well, it's my channel. You can like it if you want. If you don't like it, thank you for coming on the journey anyway. I am back on Thursday with an element, and on Saturday with a new regular series. Oh yeah, we're getting series. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you next time.